Hi guys, this episode is going to be about what JoAnn Crown, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, but she is from No Guilt Mom, and she helps kids get organized. So she helps parents and kids get organized. And this one is about helping kids organize school papers. Now, this one is really, really good. I really, really love this. I wish I had seen this when I had school-age kids. Of course, now I'm an empty nester, so I no longer have kids at home, but this would be excellent. What she says is, now first you might be here because your child is overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed with the amount of schoolwork they have. They're overwhelmed with the amount of homework they bring home. Maybe they have so many after school activities that they don't even get to start their homework until 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And by then, they're tired and grumpy and they just don't know how to handle it. So what she says is teaching kids how to manage an increased workload. It takes a system. It takes work, and it's something that I, as a parent, didn't know. Now, this is also great if you have a child that has ADHD. If you can teach any of your children this system, it is easy, which is a plus there. But I was really excited about this one. And since this is July and school is about to start, you will really like this. Unorganized. Or maybe your child has struggled with organization for a very long time now. I was that kid, JoAnn Crown. I was that kid who I'm like, I don't have time to put stuff in a folder, or I don't have time to write it down in a planner. I just get it done. Well, what happens, everything goes everywhere. There's like papers under the bed. There's papers stuffed in the backpack. I mean, it's a mess. It's a disaster. You can't find anything. So if you have a child who's struggling with organization for a long time, know that we have an easy solution. She says, I'm JoAnn Crown. I have a master's in education and I'm a national board certified teacher. I'm also the founder of NoGuiltMom.com, where I help parents raise kids who are self-sufficient, self-directed, and also take a bit of that guilt off the parents themselves. Because as parents, we think sometimes that we're never doing enough, or maybe we think we're doing too much and we want to release that responsibility. And that's what I help you with. And also, I have 2 courses for kids. Homework 911, which is for the elementary schoolers, and Homework Mastery, which teaches kids how to take total control over their homework situations. So know that with me, you are in good hands. Now, I did discover, I don't know if these are still on her website. Hopefully they are. I know she does have courses. They're paid courses. But I also found she has a podcast, No Guilt Mom podcast. Now, here is what she says. And the kids, you're going to take responsibility over your homework routine. So she suggests those courses, and just let your kids learn on their own by watching her videos and taking her video courses. That will help you as a parent in the long time. But she's created DABB, DABB. and we're going to talk about that in a bit. But she says DAB is the organizational system that we are going to focus on. And of course, it's an acronym, and each of these letters stand for something that we're going to talk about as we go along. You have to make priorities, she says. You have to know, okay, well, what can I do? What do I have to do right now? What can I leave until later? And that is a skill to be practiced. So people can't just learn in the sink or swim mentality. We can't just hand over organizational supplies and be all done, problem fixed. It doesn't work that way. She says, as a teacher, she used to, you can't just give them all the organizational systems and say, okay, use these and expect them to know how to use them. She says, I do, we do, you do. I demonstrate a skill. I'll demonstrate how I make priorities for the week with homework assignments, or how I organize stuff to make sure, like, I can always find something in my binder, and then we do it together. Now, in terms of this presentation, that's going to be you as a family. The parent and the child, you're going to do it together. And that means that while maybe the child is organizing and putting the papers in the binder or creating the binder, parent is right nearby being like, yes, that is exactly the system. Or I think that it'd be a little bit easier if you organized it this way, and make suggestions along the way. But y'all are doing it. First, you're learning it, then you're doing it together as a family. And then the final step, the most important step, is the do it on your own. Kids are expected to do this DAB on their own. But this is meant to be a mostly independent process. Kids have control over this entire process. D is dot, daily organized thinker. The D is dot. Now, dot is this planner that I created, daily organized thinker. Don't worry, you don't need the planner to make this work. But dot is different than the regular assignment book and the task list, because you make standard. Oh, but you might notice, okay, let me skip that part. Now, she teaches you how to time block. So any planner can be used. You're going to use time blocking. And the time blocking is something that you can use in your professional life or for school age. She says, down here, I'm going to teach you how to time block. And time blocking is something that I use in my professional life now as well. And that's where we have a list of hours in the afternoon. It's specifically 3 to 9 for school, after school. And we write down our commitment and our responsibilities. If you have dance, if you have any type of sport activity that has to be at a specific time and a specific day, you're going to write those after school activities that have to be done at a certain time. You're going to write those in first. And then look at each day, and you block in when you do each subject. First, your after school activities, and then write down each day. Look at each day, day by day, and you block in when you do each subject. So we're going to talk a little bit more of that later on too. Now the A is just for and, wanted to say DAB, a standard for and, A stands for A. So we're now D, A, and now B. B is organizing a binder. Now, we're just going to set up a simple system, and I'm going to show you how you're going to organize it and what you're going to do each night when you come home. Finally, B is nothing gets lost in the backpack. So we've got Dot, that's your daily organized thinker. Dot is for daily, A is for and, B is for binder, and B is for backpack. You're going to just take a minute or two where you completely, well, not completely, but you go and get all your papers out of your backpack, all the loose papers inside the backpack, so that nothing gets lost and that you always have a time to check. So you may get a paper when you're running out the door of your classroom. You don't have time to put it in your binder. You're stuffing it into your backpack. So this is the process where we take those loose papers out of the backpack and make sure that they get where they belong in your binders, folders, etc. Now, how to time block. We're just going to review that again. Write out commitments for the week. Now, the first thing to do is every Sunday, you sit down and you write out your commitments for the week. We're going to use dance or sports as an example. Let's say it's 4 o'clock on Monday. So you write that 4 o'clock, however many hours or 1 hour, however much time that lasts, and you're going to block out that hour. And also, you may have it for 2 hours on Wednesday. So you block out 2 hours. You might have a school concert or something at 6 p.m. on Thursday, and it usually takes an hour, but with all the things that you have to do after the concert, it may wind up being 2 hours. So block out 2 hours just to be on the safe side. Now you know what times are left during the week to get your assignments done. So you're going to fill in the assignments. Before we start any homework, we're going to time block those assignments in the calendar as well. You know that 4 p.m. is dance or sports or whatever, so we can't block anything there. But there's going to get home from dance around 5-ish, where you know you're going to eat dinner. So I like to put dinner in there, the time it takes to get home, the time it takes to eat dinner, and then you're probably going to be ready to do homework around 6 p.m. So time block homework. So now you can say, I'm thinking my math is probably going to take an hour. We block out an hour for math. I'm going to put in an hour for math, and then I think my reading should really only take 30 minutes. So you're going to write in reading for 30 minutes. Now, I know it's going to take me an hour and a half total, and I'm going to be done by 7:30. All right, now already I feel calmer, right? You feel calmer. You feel like you're not as overwhelmed or stressed, and you also have a little bit of pressure behind you because you made that commitment in writing to get those things done. So now you're going to try to get it done so you have free time after 7:30. Now, your binder. She suggests a 3-inch binder, a big 3 right there on the label. 3 to 3.5-inch binder. It needs to be bigger binder. So inside we have subfolders. Dividers are so important because it helps you keep track of all your subjects and all the stuff you need for your subject, as well as help you keep track of like old tests you have. Tests are the best things to study from. So we want to keep track of those, and here's how we're going to do it. You're going to also, when you buy your binder, you're going to buy the big pocket dividers that you need to have pockets. It doesn't have to be any specific name brand, but dividers. Then you're going to label a divider for each subject you have, and you're going to put them in subject order according to the order you have it in class. Usually label them in the order that you have them during the day. So if you have math first period, then you know that's first, science second, etc., etc. I also recommend that you have some loose leaf paper at the front of your notebook just to take notes whenever you need them in class. If your teacher doesn't already have a system for that, like a notebook or something like that, that you have to turn in. The loose leaf paper works really, really well unless your teacher requires a different system. So your binder is set up and now we use it. Using your binder. During the day, you really do not have time to hole punch your stuff and put them in the binder. I mean, let's face it, that is asking a lot. There's no time. So every time you get an assignment back in class, or anytime you get something that you bring home, I want you to put it in the very front pocket of your binder. If I get like some notes for science, I put them there. If I get permission slip I need to have signed, I put it there. And that's all I do throughout the year. All that goes in those pockets. Now we get home and we start our DAB. D-A-B-B. We open up that binder and the first thing we look at, the first thing is the front pocket at the end of our DAB. We need to have this front pocket cleared out. So let's clear it out right now. Resort it. I'll take this and pretend this is a permission slip for math. I'll be like, bring it to your parents, have them sign it. And it's due during your first period class or whatever period class it's due in. You put it in that pocket for that subject. This is what the pockets are used for. Once that permission slip is signed, it goes right there in that period that you're going to turn it in. That means that every time that you are in that period and you see something is in that folder, that first tab, you're like, oh, I need to turn that in. I need to take that out, give it to my teacher, or put it in the box, or whatever you're supposed to do. Say you have in your front folder, it's like a science test you got back. What I want you to do with that is I want you to hole punch it, and then you're going to go and put it behind science. Right in there. You open the tab like that and put it in there. Now for your backpack. So now that we have that, let's move on to our last one, the backpack. So you have your backpack. This one is really simple, really easy part of your DAB. All you're going to do is you're going to take those loose papers out of your backpack and make sure that they either go in the appropriate place in your binder, like if you hole punch them, or maybe it's a permission slip you need to have signed and you need to put it in that front pocket tab. Just take care of all the loose papers like that. And you also want to remove any loose papers that got crumpled and scrunched down at the bottom of the backpack. What you can do to prevent that, a good tip with your backpack is that if you ever need to insert a paper in, just make sure you put it in between two really strong objects like a notebook and your binder, so it remains flat and it doesn't get crumpled up at the bottom possibly. So now you have DAB. You are ready. You're going to take your dot every time you get home, your dot pages, and you're going to plan out the time block that night. Then you're going to take your binder and you're going to empty that front pocket and move the rest of those papers to the appropriate places. And then you're going to do your backpack. You're just going to take all those loose papers out and find a space for them. So you can get the dot pages. I don't know, I did go and see if I could find those dot pages for you. I don't think they're there anymore, but you can use a planner for that. Or even a sheet of paper. Just put, but a planner will work well. As long as you can block out time blocking pages. If your child comes now we're reviewing what she has said so you can put all of this into action. If your child comes home from school overwhelmed, exhausted, and just not knowing how to begin, know that there is a solution for you. Kids have control over this entire process, and that is really where the power in it lies. We as parents, we think sometimes we're never doing enough, or maybe we think that we're doing too much and we want to release that responsibility. And that's what JoAnn Crowan helps you do. DAB method. D is for daily organized thinker, A is for and, B is for binder, and B is for backpack. I do, we do, you do. As the teacher demonstrate the skill, we then do it together. You, the student, child, do dab on your own with the parent offering support from time to time. Then the kids are expected to eventually do dab on their own. This is meant to be an independent process. Parents may guide and help from time to time, but the child should take responsibility to complete over the entire process. Now, the action steps are: write out your commitments for the week and then fill in all the assignments. Time block homework assignments by filling in on your schedule approximately how long each homework assignment will take. And that takes a little practice because you don't always know how long it's going to take. But over time, you'll be able to, with practice, you'll be able to figure out how much time it takes to do homework. Create a binder with divider tabs for each school subject with pockets. Put all the notes and papers that you get during the day in the front pocket of your binder. At the end of the day, go through your binder and sort the papers and put them where they belong in your binder. Go through your backpack at the end of each day and put all the loose papers in their folders in your binder. And there you go. That's how you stay a little more organized with all the papers that you use for school. And this is really going to help you. It's going to really help your parents. And I think I was really impressed with this system. I had never actually seen or read or heard anyone do this for their child. So I think you're really going to like it. All right, guys, give me a thumbs up as I keep reviewing some of these things that I find helpful, and I will see you on the next podcast.